All right, guys, Stella's going to drive from her house to city A without stopping. An equation that determines Stella's distance from city A in t hours. So t hours is going to be important. So t is our time. So t is time. After leaving her house is d equals negative 60t plus 240. What is the x-intercept of the equation? So x-intercept is different, but we should remember that x-intercept, as soon as you see that, you know that y is going to equal 0. That's what you want to think about when y equals 0. So if I'm going to solve this equation, so it means 0, d is equal to negative 60t plus 240. To find out what our x value is at the x-axis, our y values have to be 0. So 0 equals a negative 60t plus 240. Because again, at your x-intercept, your y is equal to 0. At your y-intercept, your x is equal to 0. And then we're just going to solve it. So minus 240. Minus 240, and then that's going to give me a negative 240 equals a negative 60t. We're going to divide both sides by negative 60, and that's going to give us a negative, and a negative gives us a positive. It's going to give us a negative, positive 4. So our time. So after 4 hours, then that's where she would be back at our x-intercept. So as she leaves, that's when she'll be back home after 4 hours. So what is the x-intercept of the equation, and what is it interpretation in the context of problem? So the x-intercept would be 4. Again, the value of x when y equals 0. And that means Stella's going to drive from her house in city A without stopping. She's driving to her house. So she made it home in 4 hours from city A. All right, so look at our next one. An electrician charges a set fee for every house call and then charges an hourly rate depending on how long the job takes. The total cost of electrician service can be determined by using the equation C, and so that means we know this is going to be cost 65t, which we know is going to be time, number of hours, so that's hours, plus 85. Now 85 is that standard charge. As soon as he walks in the door, he's going to charge you $85. And so what is the slope of the equation, and what is the interpretation in context? So slope, remember, that's mx. So that's going to be 65t, so that's our mx. So our slope is equal to 65, because remember, t or x has its own job. It's just the m value, just the coefficient of that you want to talk about as a slope. And this is the cost of electrician, so that's per hour, right? So this would say $65 per hour with a flat cost of 85. So 65 per hour, flat fee of $85 would be the highlights if this was a word problem without the equation. So that means that for every hour he sits there, he is going to charge $65. So $65 per hour of work would be your interpretation of our slope. And our slope, remember again, is that coefficient of t in this case, or coefficient of x. Looking at our next one, Dominic is signing up for a gym membership with one-time fee to join, so that's a flat rate fee, and then a monthly fee, which is going to be your one that changes depending on how many months you're there, to remain a member. The total cost of the gym membership over t months is given by the equation C equals, that's the total cost, 45t, so t is going to be your months, plus $100, and that's going to be your one-time fee, so your non-negotiable. What is the y-intercept of the equation, and what is the interpretation? So y-intercept, remember, is the constant, so the number without a variable. So our y-intercept, or a p-value, is $100. And what is this context? That is going to be the one-time fee. And as I always say, the non-negotiable, I think you're not going to get out of it. As soon as you walk in there, if you want a membership, you are going to pay that fee. And obviously, with gyms and things, they run specials. But to the purpose of the equation, that constant will be a fee that is charged at all times. Last but not least, for our word problem, Zoe just lit a new candle and then let it burn all the way down to nothing. The length of the candle remaining unburned in inches can be modeled by the equation L. So we know L is going to be length. That's how tall the candle is, or how long the candle is, equals 9 minus 0.5t, and that t is the hours. So since this is length, and it's going to give you in inches, so we want to make sure you pay attention to inches, that means it's going to lose, that 0.5, lose a half an inch per hour. And we know it's per hour because hours. So whatever this is per whatever our t is, whatever they're counting our time by. What is a y-intercept of the equation, and what is its interpretation in the problem? So y-intercept is going to be our constant, or our b value, which is a 9. And that means just lit a new candle and let it burn all the way down. The length of the candle remaining unburned in inches can be modeled by. So that 9 is going to be the starting length of the candle before they started burning. Because if I burn it for no hours, then the length would be 9. Because 0.5 times 0 would give me 0. And then it is losing 0.5 per hour. But to answer the question, the y-intercept is 9. And that is the starting length of the candle. And if you almost memorize starting length, starting size, starting amount, for all your y-intercept questions, it should answer it appropriately. All right, great job, guys.